They say history is written by the victors. But what if I told you there are even crazier stories that have been lost to time, from a pope who put another pope on trial to an army that tried to wage war on birds? Here are 5 of the most bizarre history stories you won't learn anywhere else. The Cadaver Synod. In 897 AD, Pope Stephen VI had his predecessor, Pope Formosus, exhumed and put on trial for crimes against the church. The corpse was dressed in papal vestments and sat on a throne in the middle of a church. Stephen then unleashed a tirade against the deceased pope, accusing him of all manner of sins, including simony, the crime of selling church offices for money. He also accused Formosus of perjury, saying that he had lied about his election as pope. To prove his point, Stephen had the corpse's right hand cut off and displayed it to the congregation. After the trial, which somehow lasted 8 days, Formosus was found guilty and his body was thrown into the Tiber River. The Great Emu War. In November of 1932, the Australian military began a bizarre and ultimately futile campaign to cull the emu population in the state of Western Australia. The emus were destroying crops, and the government called in soldiers to shoot them. The birds were fast and unpredictable, however, and the soldiers were no match for their powerful beaks and wings. One soldier later recalled, "If we had a couple of rounds go into one bird, he would only go down for a short time. Then he would jump up and go after you." The military's plan was to encircle the emus and shoot them with Lewis guns, but the birds proved too quick, and the soldiers were forced to retreat. After losing thousands of dollars and not much emu, the government called off the war and the dancing plague. In July of 1518, hundreds of people began dancing uncontrollably in the streets of Strasbourg, Germany. The dancing continued for days, even weeks, and many of the dancers died of exhaustion or heart attacks. Some scholars believe that the dancing plague was a form of mass hysteria, while others believe it may have been caused by a fungus that grew on rye. Whatever the cause, it was one of the strangest outbreaks in history. The 1904 Olympic Marathon. The 1904 St. Louis Olympic Marathon was a disaster. The winner, Fred Loers, hitched a car ride for a part of the race, and several other athletes were disqualified for cheating. The race was eventually won by an Italian immigrant named Giovanni Meyer, who finished the course in a then world record time of 2 hours and 55 minutes. But his victory was overshadowed by the bizarre behavior of the other runners. One runner, Thomas Keeley, collapsed in the street after crossing the line and had to be carried off by spectators. Another runner, Charles Hefferon, was disqualified for riding in a taxicab for part of the race, and Fred Loers was stripped of his medal after admitting that he had taken a nap during the race. From dancing plagues to rogue popes, these are just a few of the strange tales that have been lost to history. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, history is full of surprises. You never know what you might uncover next.